All right, cool. We're ready to move on. We're going to be working on the species now. Species is going to be done pretty much like the powers. So if you had issues with the powers, the good news is you can try it again with the species. Also, I didn't worry about adding like a previous and next for the powers. You could do that if you want to. You would do it the same way that we did the heroes. You essentially um, use the count all uh, API that we use for the species for the powers. Collect that data, add it to your power single. Okay, same thing. Anyways, let's do species now. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna make my pages. So it's gonna be touch view slash pages slash all species dot ejs and views slash pages. If I can type correctly, slash species single dot ejs. All right, cool. And here I have all species and my species single. Also, again, I posted, well, I just committed my recent changes to this in my repository. So I think on 12, I think on part 12 of this series, I've posted my repository, the link to my repository, so you can get it from there and follow along with me. Okay, so I'm going to start off all species. I'm going to set those pages up. This all species as well as the species single. So include partial slash header and include partial slash footer. Cool beans. And then I'm going to I'm gonna do a main class main, and this would be all species main. I'm gonna do a container, and here I'm just gonna say all species. And I was thinking about doing a setting up to like just one page that would handle like species, powers, franchise. And maybe I could go back and doing that because I'm doing the same thing over again. And again, if I'm doing the same thing over again, then I basically just want to use the same page. I had to think about that. But for right now, I'm going to do it this way because again, I know I just want to have a good first pass, and then after that, I can go and modify it as I need to. So here we go. There's all the species, and I'm gonna do species single. And you know what? Let me look at my power single. That is going to look exactly the same. So what I'm going to do for my power single, because yeah, I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to copy it, drop it over here in species single, paste it there. And all I need to do is just change this to species single main. And that's what I'm saying. I think what I'm going to do is um, go back in at some point and just make one page for the single for the powers, the species franchise, because that data is going to look it. Well, those pages are going to be let the layout and everything, the content's going to be the exact same. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to stick with this plan, work this plan all the way through, and then go back and refactor it. Uh, that's just how I like to do things. Because if I go the long route, if I take that, then I start to see, okay, well, if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, then there's got to be a better way of doing it. And that's one of like the primary uh, questions that I ask myself, or philosophies that I have rather, when it comes to developing. Like if I'm doing a task over and over again, there's got to be a better way, um, and I'll find the better way. So anyway, there's my species single page, all species set up. Okay, so now I'll start with the header.ejs, and we're going to add a link here for species, like so. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is come over to router, and I just thought of something else that I could do. So for our in our router, um, I was thinking, hear me out, weird idea, but it could work. I could take my endpoints that I have right here, and I can send that to uh each one of my pages. So like right here, I can render endpoints. So I could say endpoints. So I could just send that. Okay. And when I send that, then what I could do is I can come over here to my header, and I can say, hey, for each endpoint, matter of fact, I could try that right now. I'm going to comment out all of these. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here and refresh, and I don't see my navigation anymore. And what I'm going to do, I could say endpoints dot for each. So take each endpoint and what are we going to do? For each endpoint, I'm going to make an anchor tag, give it a class nav dash link, give it a class top dash nav dash link, give it a class text dash uppercase. And here I'm going to pass in endpoint. So I'm going to pass in endpoint right there. And here, my href is going to be slash endpoint. Now I would need to change up a couple things because they got hero, power, class. They're all singular or whatever. But let's see what this looks like right now. Come over here, and this is going to happen. It's going to happen in my home page. Yeah, so let's go to localhost 3000, and look at there. It's got all of the endpoints. Cool, great, that works. Nice. So that means that since I fixed up my header that way, took a nice little detour. So now that I've got that, and I see that that works, I just need to go back over here to router And for each one of my renders, passing endpoints. So that way I won't have to manually type that stuff in there. It's going to each one of my pages. Yep. Cool. So that works. But the issue is now what I need to do is I need to change these routes. So instead of heroes, it just needs to be hero. This needs to be hero/ID. This needs to be power slash, and then that needs to be power. Cool. And then that also means that in my hero single, this needs to be, I just need to clean up all of these. So I need to go find the links and change those. So you could take the time out right now to do that, to make all of these, the links that you have, make them singular to match up with the same name that you have for your endpoints. And yeah, that's gonna be nice. So just, again, less static work that you have to do. It's more dynamic. To take each endpoint and we're going to make a link, a navigation link for each endpoint. And so now I need to again just go and check and make sure that all of my paths are, let's see, I need to do all, well, not species single. There we go. That needs to be hero. All right, I think that's it. Now, obviously, team and franchise aren't going to work just yet, but power should work. Yep, cool. I click on elasticity. It's fantastic. Click on that. Cool. So I just want to do that. You can pause the video right now and again, just go through and check through the previous code you have for all of your anchor tags and check and make sure that they work. And again, I'll just go back and show you what I did again. I took the endpoints that we created earlier, this array of endpoints, and inside my header, well, I passed those endpoints into each one of my router.get methods. I passed them all in the renders you can see right here. So just passing in that data into each one of them. And then for my header, instead of having all those anchor tags written out explicitly, I just say, hey, for each endpoint, just make this one template of the endpoint. And there we go. Cool. I got that. So yeah, like I said, pause it if you need to. Go back and check on that work. Also, you can rewind and see what I did. All right, so cool. Now I'm ready to go to species. So here we go. Router.get, not GERT, it'd be /species, and takes a request and a response. And what are we going to do? We're going to, let's get the URL. So I've got the URL right there, and then I'm going to make an Axios call, axios.get URL. Then I'm going to take that response and response.render pages / all species, rather. That's why I named it. And then we are going to say the title is going to be species, name, all species. Data is going to be response. No, that response dot data, and then also passing in endpoints. Same thing as we done before. All right, and I might as well go ahead and do my single as well. So router.get /species/ and I'm going to pass in the species right here. Takes a request and response. The URL is going to be, let's look at our species DAO. Not species DAO, species routes rather. And I want to find heroes by species. Now we could also do alignment because we have that one built, right? But I'm just going to start off right here. Find heroes by species. And so that's species / and then species. So in other words, localhost 3000 /API /species /species / and then colon, whatever the species is. It's a lot going on, I know. But anyways, here we go. Const URL is going to get http /localhost : pass in the port /API /species /species again / and then we need species. And where do we get that from? Again, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say const species is going to get request.params.species. That's where it's coming from right there. So there's my URL. Axios.get the URL. Then take the response. And we're going to response.render. Pages / was it species single? Yeah, that's the page. Yep. And then the title is going to be species. Name's also going to be species. I'm going to response, the data rather is going to be response.data and also passing in the endpoints. So yeah, cool. Looks good. So now I'm going to go back to all species and I'm going to remove this container right here. Basically going to do the same thing I did for all the powers. Yeah. So I'm just going to copy everything in this row. I'm going to copy that entire row. Come over here to all species and paste it in there. And instead of item.power, that's going to be item.species. And in here, this is going to be item.species. Oh, this needs to be, no, that needs to be /species, yeah. Species and then item.species _ID. No, item.species. What am I doing? I believe that's correct. And I'll change the species card just because maybe I want to style them a little differently. And this, so yeah. So I'm just checking the names and making sure, like wherever I had power, click here to see heroes of this species. Okay, I think this should work. This should be good now. I'm gonna come on here and refresh. I'm gonna click on species. And there goes all of the species that we have. Click here to see heroes of the species. I'm gonna hover over alien and it's localhost 3000 slash species slash alien. I click on that and it takes me to all the aliens. And here I have their link. So there's Hero 12, and it's gonna take me there to Superman's page. Nice. Hey, it works. So little nuance that we did. And I really did that off the top of my head, just thinking about it in a flash. I will say, for me personally, that's one of the things that I do well when it comes to development. I will think of something that I can do real quick, and then I can in a flash see how I will go about doing it, and then I do it. And if it works, great, fantastic. If it doesn't work, oh well, I didn't blow up my computer yet. So anyways, their species, we just had to do franchise and team, and then uh we're pretty good with this project. Okay, so I'll see you on the next side of this video, and we're going to let's work on franchise next.